Hi, and thanks for joining this particular segment of our YouTube channel. This is the 42 form, and we're actually doing the fourth movement of the 42, lift hands. Lift hands is a comprehensive movement, so it's referred to in the 88 step family of particular movements, and it follows after last week's, which was single whip, moving into the 45-degree direction to my upper right. So if I'm facing forward, it's going to move into the upper right component of this. Let me do the demonstration of this first. So lift hands gives you a step that we haven't really seen on here. It is what's referred to as an empty step. And so starting from the ground up with this particular explanation, most of your weight is going to be centered in this case on the left foot as you lift forward. And there is a slight twisting in motion of this. You'll see this with the application. But what you do is you come from this particular direction. So we're finishing up with single whip, going in this direction. We have to shift our weight to the right because we're going to close our left foot so we can turn and pivot the body. So there is a slight pivot here. We bring the left hand across. This is a brushing across block. So bring it from here, twist, and then when you come through here, you're going to shift your weight back. Your feet are shifting here because you're going to put most of your weight on your left foot. So from here, coming across, shifting the weight in, you're going to pull the right leg in as you bring the right hand up underneath the left, lift up, open, and sink down. Now the right knee in this case is going to come up. This is something that you're going to see a little bit different in how we do this. Is traditional lift hands might look something like this or something here. So we're going to actually go through and do the pretend to do the kick. So you see anything with an empty stance, whether it's here or here, it's the potential for a kick out. So when people see the foot come back in, they're focused on the lower half of the body to make sure that they're not going to get kicked. So as you come across with the movement, you've got to turn the waist, and you're turning that left hand and that right, or the left hand and left foot turn at the same time. So you want to get used to this swiveling of the hips part of this as you turn. So those two come across. As it reaches the angle that you're shooting for, you have to shift your weight back through. Then the right hand and the right foot come in. Both of them come in. The right hand comes up underneath, lifts up, comes around in a small circle, and then squeezes in. This particular movement here is indicative of a arm bar, a squeezing in of the motion. You'll see this within the application. But you bring this hand across, come up through. The left hand's protecting the center line. As the right hand comes through, moves the hand out of the way, squeezes in and bar. So you have a couple of components here that are following along with each other. The left hand and the left foot as it turns, the right hand and the right foot as it comes in, lifts up, sets down, and squeezes in. So the right hand and the right knee follow with each other as they both come up and they both set down. The left hand and the left foot both turn at the same time. So you get this feeling here of everything being coordinated within the particular movement. So you've got to have your hips loose enough so you can make this transition turn. You want to feel that weight shifting. Remember, we shift the weight off the foot before we turn it. So you've got to feel that weight shift as you turn and then shift it back as you pull in. There's also this sinking in. You're grounding yourself in because you're holding on to your opponent in front of you. So you want to make sure that you're sinking in through the end of the movement, coming in and sinking in. Okay? You're faced 45 degrees in this direction. This is what it looks like from behind. again, I'm pointing 45 degrees in this direction. If I started my form here, this is the direction that I'm ending up here and churning as we go through this. Common mistakes with this one. As I said, you're keeping your left hand in your left foot as you do that turn. So common mistakes might be bringing the hand over before the foot comes over, or bringing the foot over before you bring the hand over. You want to get used to that coordinated movement, that turning. So you see here, I'm turning. Where am I turning? I'm turning at the waist. It's not my arm coming across. You see my positioning here is the same all the way through. Okay? So from here, the hand follows the waist. The waist is what's turning the body. So you don't turn the arm. This isn't an arm movement. This is a body waist movement. So another common mistake is maybe not coming far enough through there. You've got to be able to come almost all the way through to that 45-degree angle. The last little bit of it you'll finish up as you come through the transition here, but you're going from this direction, which on a 0 is about 270 degrees this way. Coming across, you've got to come at least through the 0 in order to effectively do the movement. So turn that waist all the way through. So most of the problem areas that you're going to see are with your weight transition. If you're not transitioning your weight correctly as you're coming through the movement and keeping everything coordinated. The left hand and the left foot follow each other, the right hand and the right knee follow each other then as you come across here and bring that movement across and come up. They've got to lift at the same time. It's not bring my hand up then bring my foot up. Okay? It's come through, the right hand coils under and comes up, and then the hands separate. So another common mistake is forgetting to bring it in here. You'll see this within the application why this is important, but it's coming through the center line, up, around, and then squeezing in. So the other one is keeping the elbows up too high or not sinking them in at the last minute. Again, watch the application, you'll understand the intention that we're doing here, but bringing it up, lifting. You don't have to bring your foot up very high. Your knee doesn't have to come very high off the ground. So if you're not particularly balanced in doing that, it's okay to just bring it up a little bit, but bring it up with the right hand as it comes up. Okay? Watch our opening Qigong session. You see some of the practice techniques that you could do to get used to this combination, but you want to bring the foot up. So it's as if there was a string on your wrist around your knee, so it comes up, okay, as you go through. So lift it at least up off the ground and then set it back down as you come through and do the sink. And so that's indicative of the last common mistake you see is you want to coordinate the ending movement too. As it comes through, lifts up, your sink, your squeeze has to coincide with the touching of the right heel down onto the ground. And your direction again is 45 degrees in this direction. So you want to make sure that your weight is set. An empty stance is 99% of the weight is on this leg. It can be 90%, but the majority, the vast majority. I refer to an empty stance, whether it's the toe down or whether it's the heel down, and this one's the heel down, is like a kickstand on a bike. Okay? Most of the weight is still here on the tires, but this keeps us from falling over. So as you come through here and lift down, it's just touching. It's not shifting weight to it. You're staying back. You're lifting up and you're touching. So if I had to pick my foot up again, you wouldn't see my hips move, you wouldn't see my body adjust. It's all the weight is still on my left foot. My right foot is empty, hence the name. Okay? So after single whip now we're going to come around and we're going to lift hands. And so here in this case we have coming over from the other direction. After I've finished here, we're going to come through and we're going to block and then bring the hand up through. So in this case we'll take this particular strike here. So as I've come through here, I'm going to block and she's going to continue up through. Now here's where I'm going to bring the hand up, turn it out, and lift the leg and touch and block. So depending on which arm it comes through, in lift hands, you're coming up around and sinking through. So in this case, we'll go ahead and we'll show you for the other side, that punch coming through here, coming through to block, lifting up, separating down, and then here's that twist then at the base. So you set your foot down and you hold again on the back side of the arm here, and then twisting in. That puts the pressure here on the elbow and sinks the movement in here. So for lift hands, coming up, around, in, and touch. So let's go to the before and after sequence. I'll do these here in combination within the overall sequence. So the movement before was single whip. Now the movement after is going to be white crane spreads its wings, and you're going to turn. So this way we are 45 degrees this direction. We are going to turn back to the side direction. And so you'll see that transition of white crane in our next video. Thank you for watching this one. Practice on. You